Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mark Ellert here with Trauma Talk. Thanks for tuning in because today I'm going to talk to you about learning how to separate yourself from your trauma to grow from it and not just let it be your identity and your everything. Because some of you may know I'm someone with complex post traumatic stress disorder, but after my brain injury in 2004 that took my vision, I was able to rehabilitate myself. I was able to grow from my trauma, and I want you to know you can do the same thing. Because everyone, some of my trauma, I will notice is something I still become very emotional about, but it's good to process those emotions and not stay with it. You see, some of my trauma, it can bring up some anger, some resentment, and it's okay for me to feel those things. It's okay for me to feel that and process and work through it, but it's not good for me to stay there. I don't want to stay angry and stay resentful because I've noticed when it happens. I've noticed when I'm really caught up in my trauma and I'm upset about it, when I'm angry, I just want to go break things. I just want to go yell and I just want to go shake somebody. I just become discouraged. I don't really care about anything. I don't want to get up and do anything. I'm like, what's the point? All I do is just sit with that anger. But everyone, my trauma already changed me so much 20 years ago. It's not fair for it to still change me and control me to this day. That's the thing, is if I stay angry and bitter about my trauma, then that means my trauma is controlling me. My trauma is the one controlling me. And like, I have the right to be angry and bitter about this stuff, but I don't want to be an angry person. That's why it's good to process this stuff in the right place and leave it there. It's why rather than just sitting with my anger and just wanting to break things instead, I try to transfer that energy. I try to use it to do something good to help myself rather than stay with my trauma, rather than just stay angry and just wonder, why did this happen to me? You know, rather than just basically sacrificing myself and giving up on myself, as I'd rather go do something to help myself. I'd rather actually have self-love and self-care and do something to help me rather than just give in to the trauma and let it control me and take over my life. Because I've noticed it do it before, everyone. Around certain times when my trauma takes over my life, I literally, I have no motivation. I don't care about anything. I'm just angry. I don't sleep well. I don't do anything that I care about. And it perpetuates and gets worse. That's why when I notice I'm getting upset about things, I'll either have a session with my therapist and have the right place to process it and work through it. I'll be like, you know what, Mark, this is something that happened 20 years ago. You can't change this. I'll try to just reframe it. I'll talk to myself and be like, you know what, Mark, you have the right to be angry about this. It happened and it sucks, but you can't change this. This is 20 years ago. You're blind and it's just what happened. You can't change it. So it's not fair for you to get angry and destroy your life from it. It's okay for you to grow and move forward. Don't look backwards and be angry about looking backwards. Look forwards and grow from it, everyone. I've been able to do that, everyone. When I'm getting upset about my trauma and stuff, I try not to sit with it and let it just soil and ruminate and become problematic. I get up and go play some drums. I'll call my therapist. I'll write down a speech and start practicing some things to be good for myself. I'll write down some things in my journal so it feels cathartic, like I'm getting it out there. I do the things that I need to rather than just sit with it and circle that stuff in my head and just be angry and resentful. I do things that can go help me, everyone. Because when I stay there, when I stay in my trauma, when I let that emotion just control me, everyone, I'm not a good person. I don't like to be that way. I'm irritable. I'm angry. People don't like to be around me. I'm unpleasant. I'm not doing things good for myself. I don't practice good habits. It really affects us, everyone, and it's not fair for our trauma to control us and affect us still to that day. We have the right to be upset and angry. We have the right to be emotional about it, but process that in the right way and don't let your emotions destroy you, everyone. Use your emotions to try to help you to change habits and change things. I notice my habits when I'm sitting with my trauma on the couch and really letting it affect me, it gets worse and worse, everyone. I became aware. I learned how to address it and do it in a healthy way. I want you to know if I can do that, you can do it, everyone. Trauma is really, really difficult. I don't want to take your emotion away from you. You're allowed to have that emotion. You're allowed to have that reaction to your trauma. But I want you to know you're bigger than that. You can grow from your emotions. You can grow from your trauma. You don't have to stay with it, everyone. I want you to know I grow so you can grow too, everyone. Trauma is not easy, but I want you to know that you can be able to treat it, everyone. You can be yourself. You don't have to have your trauma be your identity. Identify as who you are and what you love, everyone. Take care of yourself, everyone. Practice self-love, self-care. If I can do it after all of my trauma, I know you can do it, everyone. Self-love is important. Everyone, keep it sexy. Make good choices. I'll catch you on the flip side.